Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hoping that everybody is safe and we are still in a position where we can navigate this coronavirus thing. I just decided to come on for a few minutes to talk about, as the caption says, leadership during a crisis such as corona. Firstly, before I even go into that, I want to just lift my hat off to all the persons who are on the front line. Some persons have the option corona, so I stay in, I isolate myself, or whatever they call it, isolate yourself. I stay in with my family and all of that. Some persons don't have that option, sorry. So you still have the nurses and the doctors. They're still on the front line. I have colleagues who are still at the airport. They still have to be there. Security forces, all those people. Hats off to you, and just be safe. Three things I want to touch on in terms of leadership during a time like this. I was listening to a podcast by John C. Maxwell, and basically what he was saying is that a leader has to sound different from the persons that he leads during a time like this. Your tone, your language has to be different. Basically, it is a time for panic, and it is easy for persons to panic. As a leader, you cannot panicking or doom and gloom cannot be your first mode of operation, right? And when I'm talking about leaders, I'm talking about leaders in different spheres. Your business leaders, your leaders in your homes, your leaders at church, wherever you are leading, you have to. It is a time that is very serious, and we don't even know how far-reaching this thing is. But leaders have to stand strong, have to put things in place, have to be thinking how best we can mitigate this. Cannot be panicking. That is number one. Secondly, leaders have to exercise a lot of empathy, because the persons that you lead, their situations may be so different from what you can imagine for yourself. I think like schools have been closed. Schools closed, children out, persons still have to go to work. Not everybody has a full-time nanny. And if the schools are closed, parents are going to need somewhere to leave their children. So it is going to therefore mean that we have to make certain decisions. It cannot be business as usual. Especially for example, in the government sector, where things like working from home, things like working remotely is not necessarily the norm. If we have a proper ICT platform where some of our things or operations can happen from home, we have to look into those kind of things, because these are our people, and when the crisis passes, these are the people that we still need to be on our team. So if during the time of crisis I don't get a sense from my leader that they even care that my 3-year-old, I don't have anybody to leave my child with, they don't care about that, I am going to be demotivated. I'm not going to want to work with you. That is secondly. Empathy. We have to be very empathetic to the persons that we are leading. Thirdly, as leaders, we have to, this is a time for us to basically revisit some of the ways that we operate. For example, persons who you are leaders in your small businesses, what kind of net reserves do we have? What kind of contingency plan do we have in place for situations like this? Because face it, business, there is going to be a fallout in business, whether we like it or not. There's going to be a fallout. What is our cushion? What is our nest egg? Persons who have persons that they have employed, they are still going to need to be paid. What are we doing? Leaders, we have to stand strong. We have to look out for our people, but we have to remember, after the crisis has passed, we still want our businesses, we still want our organization to move forward. What we do now will determine greatly what happens to our organization after the crisis. Stay strong, everybody. Blessings to you, and I'm sure, I really believe that we're going to weather this storm, and we are going to weather it. We are going to weather it together, and we're going to come out stronger than when we went in. Blessings.